Hi, you guys. Welcome to the second edition of the Indulge Fest. And I'm Ronita Italia. I'm the editor in chief of Good Homes India magazine. I have a very, very special guest with me today, right now. And of course, he needs absolutely no introduction in the gourmet world of food and F&B. Um, Quite literally, this is the man behind all things nice in every sense. Nikhil Agarwal, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me today.
My pleasure, Anita. You were far too kind in that introduction, but happy to be here. Thank you.
Listen, where I'm concerned, everything you do is everything nice. I can't think
Excellent.
I can't think of anything that I would sort of pinch my nose up at.
Excellent. Good to hear. Good to
Yeah, of
hear.
course. Okay, it is the summer edition that we're um, a part of right now.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you that one mandatory summary question to start us off. What does summer mean to you?
Are we talking on a wine and spirits point of view or just in general?
Anything. It can be anything you want to.
Um, I actually quite like the turn of the season. So when we move away from the cooler months, at least in Bombay, not cold, but into summer, I quite like this period. It's a I quite enjoy it. There's something quite nice about it, even though it's disastrously hot, but there's something quite nice and lovely about it. So it's a lot of travel. It's a lot of barbecues that we continue to do. It's a lot of summer colors. I don't know. It's just I quite enjoy it. So I have no problem with summer.
It does stand for happiness, right? I mean, all
Yeah,
of
it
that.
does.
Nice. Okay, tell us, what are you working on currently? What are your current projects?
Well, actually, we I have to say that I'm quite proud of how we've spent the last 1 year. We've been incredibly busy throughout, and so all things nice is coming back to its to what we used to do before. And in fact, we have our we used to bring in a lot of chefs, a lot of the dinners, etc. that we used to do. We've already started. We hosted a lovely dinner with Chef Rahul Kerkar a couple of days ago, if not 10 days ago, and then our international lineup of Michelin chefs as well as other chefs are is now being set because I think travel is opening up to a certain degree. And we've gotten into retail for wine and spirits, which is exciting because uh, it allows us to be retailers, and I'm smiling because so we have this wonderful client list. We opened our first retail store in July, and they've gone from not knowing who they are to becoming friends with them. So now we have drinks together and stuff like that, and I quite enjoy being a retailer because it's just so much fun, right? Because if you were doing the events and stuff like that, which was consumer facing, you would meet them at the event and you barely get a chance to talk to them
Correct.
because there's so many things to do and there's so many
Take care
people
of.
as well, right?
Correct.
But when it comes to retail, it's more one-on-one, and so now like I've gotten to know a lot more people a lot better. And with all things nice, it was always about that. It was never, I mean, it was about making a profit, of course, but it was also about sharing what we like. So retail allows us to do that in very different ways. Besides that, we've just launched a new company called Angel Share, and Angel Share is a partnership company, and I'm one of the partners. And in this company, we are now importing wines and spirits from all over the world. So we just launched a tequila brand called Kodigo Tequila here in Mumbai, and it's a kick-ass. Sorry, I don't know if I can say kick-ass, but it's a kick-ass tequila. Very very high end, very delicious, very far away from the tequilas that we had post puberty. This is serious stuff, sipping tequila, and it's called Codigo 1530. So, like this, we have a lot more stuff coming in, and the intention is to sort of do what All Things Nice was always doing, and then add more retail, add more brands that we can then bring into the country. So it's an exciting time for us, actually, Ranita, I have to say.
Yes, while you're talking about this whole delicious tequila, and I can actually feel that little poke in my cheek, my mouth watering.
Yeah,
It is something that we're all looking forward to with you.
yeah,
But tell me something, you've always sort of been very involved in creating experiences,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
always been about the experience.
yeah.
What is your current take, your take on the current scene as the way it is right now in terms of F&B?
I think F&B is going through a hellish time right now. I mean, even right now. I mean, I just got some message from one of our colleagues in the industry saying that they might put night curfew back on again, and that decision is going to happen today. Um, so I think for us from all these nights, besides the consulting work, which is something that you perhaps wouldn't know that we do,
Yes.
which is what sort of is our bread and butter, as well as the luxury and financial side of things that we do. Um, I think the events are something that we enjoy putting them together because it allows us to it really allows us to be creative. I've always looked at wine and spirits and food as a creative space rather than anything else, or show somebody else's creativity when it comes to wine and spirits and food. So for us, we are quite adamant that no matter what, we're going to start doing what we were doing before. So we started this thing called Vinopedia with Gauri at the table, where yeah, it's cool. It's every
Yeah.
month we pick a different grape variety, and then we get into depth with it with a tasting. And that we started in February, so that's quite cool. The dinners have started. We hosted the dinner with Rahul a couple of weeks ago, and then we have a slate of dinners lined up, pairing everything from gin to tequila and single malts, and of course wines with food by chefs that we really love, either based in India or chefs that we're bringing in. Um, and the regular tasting events as well. To answer your question, I think it's a tough time because one is that the capacity of how many people can attend
You
these
can.
things is very limited. So you don't have the economies of scale anymore. So I can't fly down a Michelin chef from the UK, for example, and host a 30 people dinner. It's just
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah.
sense
Doesn't make
economically for that, right? So we have to be really smart about it. But I do see a couple of things. I think that people are really want to get out. I think that they're done with this. I got my vaccine today, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was got dizzy and had to be rushed into one of these things. But basically, I think I think there is a lot of pent up demand for experiences, and I think that I see I see restaurants all over the place, quite packed actually. I'm not
Right.
sure if Ranita, if you've been going out, but
Yes, we
uh,
have been.
yeah, so it's packed. I mean, I haven't been to a single restaurant that was sort of empty-ish so far, and it's a good sign. I think that people are willing to come out. I also see so on a restaurant and hotel restaurant level, I think a standalone restaurant level, I think things are getting back to normal. I think hotel restaurants perhaps will take some more time. uh, I think hoteliers are very much part of our family, and I think for them, their struggle will be a little bit longer because international business and tourist travelers are not
Reservations.
allowed to come here, so they're basically relying on domestic tourists, and that's going to take a while for it to come back to normalcy.
Settle in.
Yeah,
Okay. So while you were talking about, doing these, the various um, alcohols that you talked about, your
yeah,
gins and your
yeah.
single malts, and doing events around all of these. What's your favorite?
I'm a diehard wine and single malt person. It's what I drink personally. Um, I have to be honest. Uh, um, I like gin. It's not my favorite thing in the world. So while everyone's gin crazy right now,
Right now, it's like this huge thing doing the
it
rounds,
is.
right?
It is. But I'm. It's great, but it's not. It's not. It hasn't wowed me so far. Um, I adore cognac. That's another weakness I have. I've
What's
always
that?
liked. I've liked it since I was a child. I think. And with cognac, we when the so we, when we did the dinner with Rahul, we included a Hennessy XO to
Nice.
finish. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah, and so those sort of things will continue to happen. But I think for the new ones that are really exciting to me right now is tequila and mezcal. I think those are two. Um, it's not because we brought down the tequila. It's just because even for me, I never realized how good tequila can be, and I sort of always stayed away from it. And but now I think tequila and mezcal are the cool two cool new.
You're disgusting. You're
Sorry,
disgusting. You're disgusting.
why?
You're
But I mean, listen. And let me break it down for you. I am not talking about the
No,
tequila
I'm
that was.
saying disgusting in a very good way.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought
In
it was
a
like.
very good way. Very, like my mouth's watering while you're talking. Okay, no. So I'm sure you get asked this also a lot.
Yeah.
But how much do you do you taste? I won't say drink. How much do you taste?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. In fact, more than ever right now. Um, I get to. I think for those of us who are in this sort of space, we
In
get to
yeah,
travel a lot. Sometimes too much, and then we get to taste quite a bit because the whole world sort of wants you to try what they make, and it's a humbling sort of
correct.
thing that, hey, look, we made this, why don't you try it? I did a gin tasting day before yesterday by this person who wants to launch a new gin brand, and he came up with these precious little bottles of different sort of gin expressions that he had, saying which one do you think will work. And I was like, you should do this with 100 people rather than any one person. So I get to taste a lot. Um, we're constantly tasting wines, we're constantly tasting brands that we want to bring in, and we're constantly tasting to write articles about it intelligently. I can't write about something I don't know, right?
Of
So,
course, you have
uh,
to experience
so,
it.
so we're constantly tasting. I mean, I've become a little bit of a, I've become, so now if I mean, I'll give you a story. So it was my wife's birthday on a couple of days ago, and we had one of the many celebrations was dinner at home. So we went to the Taj Lands, and I went to the Taj Lands and to collect food to come back. And while I was waiting for the food to be ready, I went downstairs to the bar, and then I tasted all their white wines because I had nothing else to do. So and they're happy. So try this, so try this, and it was cool. So I taste every single opportunity I can get. I taste.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of fun. If
Yeah.
you need like an assistant, then
Yeah. But we always spit it out, though. I have to say, well, unless it's like a Saturday evening or something like that, we always spit out whatever we're tasting. So it's not drinking for sure.
really,
Yeah, always. Otherwise, you can't. It's too much.
okay, then you
Then
taste
yeah,
alone.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, nice. Any favorites that you want to talk about
In terms of,
in terms of wine?
I'm very partial to Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. I think I have a weakness for that. I have a weakness for very nice red Bordeaux, or even wines from, let's say, Bulgari in Italy. I wanted to name my daughter Margot after Chateau Margaux. My wife said no, that's not allowed. But actually, that keeps changing. Actually, uh, it's like I went through a Malbec phase in December where everything I wanted to drink was just Malbec, Malbec, Malbec. Now I'm done with Malbec, and I went through a Pinot Noir phase, and so it keeps changing, it keeps rotating, and you keep getting deeper and deeper into that grape variety. But on the whole, I'm very partial to reds from Bordeaux, Napa Valley, and Bulgari in Tuscany particularly.
Nice. Okay, and your take on the Indian babies?
The Indian wines. So this is the truth about Indian wine is that I wish all of us would give more Indian wines a shot. Um, so the top level wines from most wineries are very very good. All right, I mean they are really good. So whether you're talking about a Grover Shen or a Fratelli Sette or a Sula Rasa Cabernet or a Vallonné Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon, these are all incredible wines that should be drunk. I think we make fantastic Sauvignon Blanc. So whether it's a Sula, the sauce Sauvignon Blanc, or others, they're really good. Or even York Winery Sauvignon Blanc. These are really nice wines, and affordable as well. Uh, the challenge with Indian wines has always been is that there are just a handful of wineries showcasing quality, and there are more wineries who are perhaps not. And so we need so there are two things we need to do. We need to make sure that we bring on a quality level, we bring everybody up to the guys' standards that are doing really well. And two is we need to change consumer perception that sometimes,
Indian.
yeah. And I think it's crazy because they will buy really cheap Chilean wines that is not cool really, and won't drink great wines produced in India. So I have a grouse with that. We find people like that all the time, and then what we try and do is we give them opportunities to taste, and we do a lot of blind tastings, and somehow convinces them. So I'm a big fan of Indian wines because they're made in our very own backyard. But like Charisma Estate is not here in available in Bombay yet, but it's available in Bangalore. I mean, those guys do a phenomenal job as well. So, like I said, those 5, 6 wineries that are doing a really good job, we should support them, not just because it's Indian and we're Indian and fly the flag sort of thing. It's more because the quality is really there.
Nice. That's really good to hear. Really good to hear.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So we have the wine thing. There's also what I've noticed and what I've observed is that there's also the coming up of dram clubs,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so do you think that's like a trend that's now coming out, or it's always been around?
I think the answer to that would probably be is that I think that it's getting more democratic. So first these clubs have always been around, whether it's cigar clubs or whiskey clubs. Anil Tharkar has a whiskey club, for
Yes.
example. Yeah, and they've always been around. It's just that they've always been a little bit more um, selective, I guess, in terms
Also
of
covert, right?
yeah, exactly. And I think that now what's happening is that these clubs are allowing anyone to attend as long as they show interest in coming along. And I'm very happy to say that there are wine clubs in Nagpur, in Ludhiana. I mean, of course, you expect these things in Bombay, Delhi, and Bangalore, but to see them happening in tier 2 and tier 3 cities is very exciting for me personally. Um, so you find single malt clubs. I mean, we have friends who've started this the women who whiskey club sort of thing. I mean, it's exciting all around. I mean, when we started All Things Nice about 12 years ago,
Yes, I know.
there were only those
Yeah.
covert
Yeah.
sort of South Bombay-ish sort of
Yes.
clubs that everyone used to hang out at. But now what we've done is that we do it pan India. Anyone can join in as long as you know about it and you're willing to pay for it. You're most welcome to join in. And I'm quite excited because what will happen with that is that everyone will start drinking better, which is important. And there's a lot more conviviality.
Yes.
There's a lot more fun. The last thing that we want to do, we want to have fun basically. At the end of it, all these clubs are about fun. You get to make people. I think people who drink wine, who thoroughly enjoy wine and spirits and food, are the nicest people in the world. I really believe so. And I think that when you hang out with people like that, you automatically have a lot of fun. I mean, it's about bringing those like-minded people
People
together, right?
together.
And
Yeah.
people who like drink wine, I guarantee you, like to make friends, like to go out for dinners,
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah. So all of it's a way of life, I think.
Yes. Okay. So my next question was, which you already answered, which was about, what was it like when you started All Things Nice?
Um, it was it was it was a long
Difficult?
time ago. It was cool. It was very hard to sort of make people understand what we were trying to do. I think that was if I told you 12 years ago that we love wine and spirits and all we want to do is share, and which is literally our, it's probably still our tagline. They would people didn't get it. But but uh, but it was fun. I mean, I remember when I started All Things Nice. My first client was Mercedes, and I couldn't believe that Mercedes had hired us literally 2 months after starting the company, and we did their launch of their S class S Guard, which is some 4 crore, I don't know, Mercedes or something. We did a wine and
Insane.
cheese thing for them. Um, it was fun. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I think I got lucky because we were before everybody else. Right now, there are quite a few. Like I said, there were the ones that were more private, which have been around forever. But like one that did it for anyone who would want to come, that was, I think, relatively new at that point. And so, but today, I think what's exciting is that whether we host a wine dinner or not, somebody's hosting a wine dinner somewhere or the other. So it's very different now. And also, there's a lot more interest in it. Before it was the thing about having a glass of wine was more for there were very few people that I would say are superbly enthusiastic about wine, right? And now I mean, I think now people are they want to know more about their winemakers and their wines and their grape varieties or their single malts and where they come from and how much time in battle and what kind of battle, and then world whiskeys and stuff. And so there's like how it's become with food, where people want to know what their ingredients are coming from, which is certainly the way it is right now.
Yeah.
And it's become like that with wine and spirits as well. With particularly with wine, I think that there is a huge amount of interest. More so than anything else. We have a separate equity arm as well, and we can also I can tell you that we see the reports of what's growing in
Nice.
wine, and wine
Yeah,
is by
nice.
far the biggest growth sector.
Superb. Okay. So, when you speak so positively of the industry, what
Yeah.
do you, how long before we see, like a good spurt in wine tourism?
I think that's happening right now. I think COVID has forced people to go to places that are close by. So, for example, it's really hard to get rooms at Sula,
It is.
or Vallone or Fratelli or any person who has the hospitality set up. It's really hard to get their rooms right now because where do you go, right? You're not going to go anywhere else. I was in Karjat the weekend before to this place called Orlando Farms, and I mean, like, I would have never gone to Karjat. Frankly, it's not my thing. But I went and I was happy that I went, and it was great. And so, I think COVID has been a huge, huge, huge positive for local wine tourism. Uh, for international wine tourism, that already happens to a large degree without us really talking about it, because anyone who travels to any part of the world where they're known for wine would automatically sign up for those tours and stuff like
Oh,
that. So
yeah.
it's already happening. And what's happening now is that because there's so much more wealth everywhere, it's not only for the very rich, and I think that's what's that's what's also sort of bringing back this interest for wine and
Yes.
spirits here in India. So it's a lot. We run the. I tell you what, we used to do these tours. We stopped doing it, of course, last year, where we used to take people internationally for wine and spirit wine tours predominantly. I mean, we did. It was pretty good. We haven't done any locally, but I know people are, and I think they're doing pretty well with that. But yeah, I think tourism is already happening. But what's taken off now is Indian wine tourism.
Yes. Okay. Um, I think I've sort of got everything that I've wanted you to talk about.
Right.
But before I let you go,
Mhm.
there's a little off the subject rapid fire. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Sure.
You have to
Let me
answer
prepare myself.
without thinking. You have to answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Ready?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay. Glass or bottle?
Bottle.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee always.
Black or white?
Black.
Red or white?
Red.
Okay. Your first sip was at what age?
Ooh. I don't know, 13, 12. I don't know. My parents used to have a lot of parties. So what we used to do is when they left, when they would go out for dinner or whatever, shouldn't be saying this on a video, but I would go and I was so curious even back then that I would go and uh, taste whatever was left in the glasses. Really, no, I'm saying it out loud now because now I made a profession about it of it. And then yeah, so very young. Let's put it this way. I tasted a lot of stuff very young, and my parents' house was full of fights all the time.
Okay. Um, 1 second. Go back to yes. Okay. So mountains or seashore?
Mountains, mountains. Wherever it's cooler is better. I'm a big guy.
Okay. Square or circle?
Soko. I had trouble answering that one, but Soko.
Okay. Your favorite dessert?
Not a big dessert guy, but maybe Chick Chop from the place at Marine Drive that used to be there ages ago. Yankee Doodle.
Oh, Yankees! Oh
Yeah,
my
I still
God!
remember that.
Oh my God! Okay, that's
That's
good
legendary
times,
stuff. Yeah.
good memories. Okay, on an evening off, what are you doing?
Um, I am drinking wine with my wife and with my kids very close by, and we will spend an evening together. And that's most of our day offs. Otherwise, because of the nature of the business, you're always
Out
out.
in the evenings.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, one drink you associate with summer.
Gins for sure, rosés with rosé wines. That's a great way to spend a summer evening. If it's one drink, then I would say a really cold gin somehow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, the future is.
The future is tequila, without a doubt. It's happening globally. It's not an India phenomenon. The future is tequila. I mean, the Kardashian girl just launched the tequila, so I mean, she didn't launch it because tequila isn't tequila because of the Kardashian girl. The Kardashian girl launched the tequila because tequila has
Because it's
become
tequila.
something. Everybody wants to be the next Clooney. Um, I really believe that tequila is misjudged, and I think that it's going to be it is already the big thing in the Western world. I think it'll come down to India too, and I can see it happening from just sheer number of people wanting to know more and wanting to try more and wanting to spend more on quality tequila.
Nice. That is something to look forward to. Okay, before I let you go, recommendations for the season.
In terms of
Um, any drinks that you'd recommend, any brands that you'd recommend, names that you want people to try out.
um, okay, I'm going to be a little biased, but please try Kodigo Tequila. I think it's a fantastic tequila, and there's a tequila rosa as part of that rosa as part of the lineup, which is the only rose-colored tinted tequila in India right now. And it's not a gimmicky thing where they have added strawberry color or flavor or whatever. It's because the tequila has been kept, put into a barrel that had Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon in it before. So it's taken on a little bit color of the wine, and it's taken on this sort of floral note, which is quite spectacular. Um, so definitely, and that's great for cocktails as well. So Código for tequila, for wine, for wine, it's damn hard to pick one actually because there's just so
But
many.
you mentioned a few names actually that have
Yeah, but I would say I'll tell you what. There's a wine called Vina Pomal Reserva, which is from Rioja in Spain. I have yet to find somebody who has tried it and not liked it. So it's a lovely wine at a very good price too. And then sorry, there's just too many. Like my mind is going through the thousand wines that we have in our own store. But that in terms of gins, I think there's a Indian gin called Pomori. I'm not sure if people have heard of it, but that's an interesting gin, and everyone knows the Hapusas and the Strangers and Sons and all that stuff. But I think Pomori is something that people need to try. Um, yeah, I mean, I could go on. Eight
you
Finger Eddie when it comes to beer, I mean that's a super beer. I mean, really good stuff.
Okay. You've done very, very well.
Oh,
Thank you
thank you.
very, very much. Again, I'm thrilled to have been able to actually pin you down and get you to talk to me about these
No,
things.
that's my pleasure.
Thank you very, very much.